In this presentation, I will be talking about 3 themes that are relevant to writing skills within my future classroom. The first theme I will be discussing I will be explaining current research around the principles and processes underpinning the acquisition of writing skills. Secondly, I will discuss how a teacher's assessment and evaluation of children's writing influences further teaching. And finally, I will evaluate these findings that I've put forward and outline how I will apply these to the classroom setting and explain how I will creatively teach children to write. Children become engaged and interested in the written language long before they enter the school environment. Parents, grandparents, friends, neighbours and carers read to them, and they also learn to read as part of their community. They read signs, newspapers, cards, tablets and even phones. Tomkins discusses how children at a young age develop an understanding about what purpose this skill holds within their community. Taylor and Dorsey Gaines state that different communities have different expectations of what the written language is used for. Some communities use it primarily for practical purposes such as paying bills, whereas others use reading and writing as leisure time activities. Tomkins talks about the stages of development. There are 3 stages of development for a child as a writer. The emergent stage is the first stage, and this is where the student will be able to distinguish between writing and drawing. They may be able to write letter-like forms on the page. They may also begin to show an interest in writing and may know how to write their first and last names. The next stage of development is called the beginning stage, as this is where the child begins to understand the concept of reading left to right and also using upper and lowercase letters. They may be able to write 1 or more sentences and spell the words phonetically. They may also be beginning to understand punctuation and where it needs to be used in the written language. The final stage in development is called the fluent stage. This is where the child is able to identify the writing process of drafts and final copies. They can usually spell at least 100 high-frequency words and use sophisticated vocabulary. They are confident in the use of commas, quotation marks, and other punctuation. There are 5 stages of writing that describe what students think and do as they write. These stages are pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. Stage 1, the pre-writing stage, is the stage of getting ready to write. This is the stage of choosing a topic, considering its purpose for writing, and identifying the text type. Drafting. This is the process of writing a rough draft, brainstorming in groups, and considering the constructive feedback provided. It is where the students are able to get their key ideas down on paper and then proceed to write their first draft. The revising stage is where writers are able to refine their ideas. Tomkins says this stage can consist of rereading the draft, sharing the draft, and revising the draft based on the feedback from the group or teacher. There are 2 components to the editing stage: editing and proofreading. Editing is the process of reviewing, revising, and rewriting a piece of writing and checking the structure, sentence patterns, and vocabulary. Proofreading is the process of identifying spelling, punctuation, and grammar errors. Publishing is the final stage of the writing process, and this is where the students are able to bring their text to life. They make their final copy and are then able to share it with the appropriate audiences.